Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a swatch and review of the new 2017 fall collection from Zoya. This is called the Sophisticates collection or Sophisticates collection. Now before I get started, I quickly want to talk about what I'm wearing on my nails. I am wearing a nail polish from the Hello Hookup. This is from Takki Laquer in Rani of Jhansi. I'm not sure how you pronounce that name. And on my lips, I'm wearing a liquid lipstick. This is the Meet Matte Hughes liquid lipstick from the Balm in the color Honest. Now, I did purchase all 12, so there are 12 polishes in this collection via the Zoya website. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to try and go from lightest to darkest in this collection. The first one is called McKenna, and this is a nude polish, and it has a little bit of silver shimmer kind of running throughout the polish. Now, I was actually pretty impressed with this polish because I was able to get this fully opaque in 2 coats, and normally nudes take me 3 to 4 coats sometimes to get fully opaque, especially when they have this shimmer formula. But the formula is actually quite nice on this one. It does dry down a little bit matte, so I would suggest putting on a glossy top coat because it's really going to pull that silver shimmer out of the nail. However, the silver shimmer isn't going to be extremely apparent once it dries down, once you get a top coat on. So for the most part, it's going to be a light pearl-like finish, but not necessarily a full shimmer. Still, I really like this. This really is a nice nude to wear, and I like that it's a little bit different than most of the nudes that I have in my collection. The next polish I have here is called Beth, and this is kind of like a brownie nude, I would say, and it has a lot of kind of iridescent shimmer throughout the polish. This one was the one that in my opinion had the worst formula. It took me almost 4 coats to get this polish fully opaque, and the finish of this kind of has like a granulated look to it. So the shimmer in here is a little bit, I don't want to say glittery, it's definitely more of a shimmer, but it does kind of give this granulated look once it fully dries down. It has a little bit of a gold flash to it, but not really. It's not quite apparent on the nails. Once you do build it up, I do think it's a nice color, but I personally don't think it's worth it. Like 4 coats, and even then I was still able to see my nail line. So I didn't like that one. I definitely think you should pass on that one. So the next one in the collection is called Presley, and this is an absolutely gorgeous mauve nude color. Now this is very, very similar to Essie's Ladylike. I did swatch these two together. Essie's Ladylike does dry down a little bit darker than what you see in the bottle, so the color is very similar to Essie's Ladylike. I wouldn't necessarily call it an exact dupe, but I do think it's pretty similar. The next polish in the collection is Joni. It's Joni, and this is a little bit darker of a mauve. So this leans a little bit more towards like the plummy side, just in comparison to Presley. As you guys can see, this one definitely has a little bit more purple, but it still has that dusty mauve kind of look to it or tone to it. This was really nice. Oh, this one and the last one were both fully opaque in 2 coats. I didn't have any problems with pooling. I didn't have any problems with patchiness. These are both really, really nice formulas. The next polish in the collection is called Hera, and this is a gorgeous like pinky berry color. I tried to find a dupe for this one in my collection and I couldn't quite find one that was this exact tone. But one thing to note with this color is that it's definitely going to dry down a lot darker than what you see in the bottle. Most of these colors are going to dry down a little bit darker than what you see in the bottle, but it was still a nice formula, fully opaque in 2 coats. But it's super similar to the next polish called Padma. This one and Hera are both pretty much the exact same color, especially when they dry down. Padma is just a hint darker. I was able to find a color that is a little bit closer to Padma because Padma is a little bit darker, and this is OPI by popular vote. This was part of the DC collection, I want to say, that released either last year or the year before. This was an extremely popular collection, and it had some really, really nice fall colors and really, really nice formulas. So both of the polishes, the Zoya polish and this one, are fully opaque in 2 coats. But if you already have this one in your collection, I would definitely skip on either Hera or Padma because they are essentially the same colors or close enough. The same goes with the next 2 polishes. So first I have Yvonne, which is a pinky berry color, but it's definitely a lot darker of a berry color. Gorgeous formula though, fully opaque in 2 coats. And then you have Mona, which is very similar, except it pulls a little bit more on the brown side. So this is Mona. So here I'm going to put them together. This is Yvonne and this is Mona, and hopefully you guys can see. Maybe it's not coming out on camera, but they're so similar that I definitely wouldn't think that you need both of these in your collection. Like I said, Mona pulls a little bit more on the brown, has a little bit more brown undertone to it, and Yvonne has a little bit more like purpley reddy undertones to it. But these two are extremely similar to OPI We the Female from the DC collection. I think this is definitely a little bit more similar to Yvonne because We the Female pulls a little bit more on the purpley red side. I think that if you have this one, you don't need the Zoya ones in your collection. I would definitely skip on those two, but they're still gorgeous polishes, fully opaque in 2 coats. The next polish in the collection is called Elaine, and this is like a purpley chocolate brown. At first when I looked at this, I thought it was going to be similar to the one from OPI, but it definitely has a little bit more of like purple undertones. I don't know if you guys can see that on camera, but it has a little bit more purple than the one that came out from OPI. The one from OPI is definitely a lot richer in the brown tones. So then I tried comparing this to OPI's Lincoln Park After Dark, and Lincoln Park After Dark definitely has too much purple in it. So I personally think that all of the polishes just look really dark and black on my nails, so I can't really see the difference once I build up all of the polishes on my nails. I think they all look the same, but some people really, really like those almost black nail polishes. So if you really like those and you already have OPI Lincoln Park After Dark and you already have the one from the DC collection, I definitely think this one would be up your alley because it is in the same family, but it's different enough from those polishes. That's just my personal opinion. This is 2 coats to be fully opaque. I probably wouldn't use this unless I'm using it as like a background. I probably wouldn't use this as a standalone nail polish, but I still really like the formula and I still think it's a pretty polish for those who are looking for that type of polish. So the next polish in the collection is called Hadley, and this one is kind of like a dusty navy blue. It's not as bright as a navy blue, but it definitely has some like navy blue tones to it, but it's a little bit more on the darker or dustier side. And the color from OPI is called CIA equals awesome, or color is awesome. And these two are pretty similar once they dry down on the nails. I think that they have similar tones. I think this one definitely dries down a little bit darker, but they have such similar tones that if you already own the one from OPI, I would skip on this one, even though both of these have amazing formulas. Now, one thing being said, I think the OPI one stains a little bit more than the one from Zoya. I didn't have any staining problems with the one from Zoya, and I did see a little bit of staining with this one, but I'm not the person who normally gets staining on my nails, so my nails might not be the best reference for that, but nonetheless, I did get more staining with the one from OPI. So the next polish in the collection is called Tabitha, and this is an absolutely gorgeous color. This is like a mossy green. I hope I'm describing that color correctly. But it also has a lot of pearl-like silver shimmer. This is the same shimmer as the nude McKenna. It has the same shimmer in here, but I think it's definitely a lot more apparent in the darker color. I don't know if you guys can see that shimmer in there. I definitely think it's much more apparent in the darker color. This was fully opaque in 2 coats. Just like McKenna, it did dry down a little bit dull, so you do want to make sure you put a top coat on it. And then the last polish in the collection is called Gal or Gal. And this is a gorgeous golden green color. So there's definitely some green in there, but every time I look at this polish, I just see gold. But I think it's like an olivey gold color. I think it's definitely like an olivey gold color, and it has a whole bunch of shimmer throughout the polish. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous finish. I think because it's such a unique tone of gold, but I don't think this is going to be everybody's cup of tea, because this might be one of those like ugly pretty colors, because it definitely reminds me of Halloween. This is a color that I would definitely wear around Halloween. So I really liked it. It took me 2 coats to get it fully opaque, 3 coats if you want to make that shimmer kind of pop a little bit more on your nails, but it depends on your application. But I really did like this color, and I think it's one of the more unique ones in the collection. So that's it. That's my entire swatch and review of the Zoya Sophisticates collection, which is their fall 2017 collection. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and also the color comparisons that I gave you guys. I didn't necessarily call these dupes. I would definitely call them more color comparisons, so you guys kind of get an idea where these colors fall on the spectrum. So please give this video a thumbs up if you guys enjoyed it. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I currently post 3 times a week on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and then on Sundays I post my weekly makeup basket. So hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.